You know, I really miss Asylum movies. Up to this point, we've only really done 2. Bone Alone and Titanic 2. We should really change that.
Do we really have to? I mean, come on, last time I got in one of these, I got soaked. Oh, come on, not this again. Who else do I have to bounce off of?
Did you forget about me?
I have no idea who you are. Yeah, this doesn't ring any bells.
From henceforth I shall be your ruler. You may call me Toy Dazz.
So I don't want to waste any time, let's just dive right into this magnum opus you've probably heard of before, 2013's Sharknado. I'm so glad to find out that this was an Asylum project. So we start off where else but in the middle of the ocean with sharks and tornadoes. They certainly know what we want. And of course, the tornado looks 2D, and the sharks look like bats. God, I love this crappy VFX. Followed by your classic YouTube intro template. And we're on a boat with some shark finning, a real thing of cutting off a shark's fin and leaving it to die painfully and slowly, and sold in China and Hong Kong. Here's our Captain San Diego, and here's our cliche Asian businessman ready and waiting apparently. They argue on a business deal, the captain brings out a gun to prove he's the villain, and then it starts. And we're suddenly in CG land. Glorious. It all looks awful. And then the sharks land. Sorry, that was me. I threw it. I mean, how else is a shark gonna go at this angle, you know? Ooh. So as the crew are all eaten, and no one bats an eye really, the businessman and the captain have a shootout, the rain is all faked, and then he dies. And as for the captain, his boat is taken up the tornado, he somehow still stands tall, and sharks keep gashing him across the face. Gotta admit though, that's a pretty cool death in concept. Cut to a beach montage.
Crazy waves out there today.
It's the beach! With our 2 boys surfing and saying something, but I can't really understand them. And now we're at the bar, and it's not an Asylum movie without a tasteless ass shot. But hey, there's a hint more here with that scar. Still, this is our main female character. What a great establishing shot. She gets sexually harassed by the old man at the bar, who I recognize from somewhere, and she avoids talking about her scar. Also, Hurricane David, as it's called, has hit the news, and it's taken away sharks.
It does. I hope the storm kills them. I hope it kills them all.
Me too. You have no idea.
Gee, I wonder what the cause of the scar was. Oh, now we're back to the beach scene? I thought we left. Our main guy is back in the water now, flirting with this girl. Sometimes there's a shot of his friend on the boat, and then he's nowhere to be seen. Oh god, why is this green screened? And then the sharks come. The girl gets grabbed but is okay. Nobody notices. This lifeguard is terrible at their job. And then they show these clearly disconnected beach scenes. It looks like a parody. Ah, God, I'm drowning! I'm gonna play frisbee, yay! Oh, I'm sunbathing. Help me, please, somebody! I've forgotten how to swim! Yay, look at that sky, mama. Like, this is awful editing, too. And then when people finally do notice the sharks, she's dead, by the way, the running away goes on forever. I mean, literally, 2 minutes later, and there's still people running by the coast. This population is very smart. Great directing. Not to mention all the terrible action, culminating in our guy stuffing a shark with a surfboard, but we don't even see it. Okay. Our boat friend is injured, and our waitress knows the protagonist. They reconvene at the bar. Our protagonist is called Finn, because of course he is. The waitress flirts with him, but is shut down because he's her boss, and we hear more of the storm.
And experts are saying global warming is the reason for this unprecedented event.
Of course it is. Every bad movie has this plotline. So with things looking bad, our budget Matthew Lillard closes the bar and everyone resists. And then a shark immediately dives through the window. And they all grab weapons, like a gun, for a tornado. And you'd think a shark would be pretty useless when it's on the ground, but they ham it up. Until old man George just golfs it away. Alright.
Don't you ever make fun of my stool again?
Nobody did. So as everybody runs away, the intensity just goes up, as what happens next is an entire Ferris wheel unhinges and blazes across the pier. This is fantastic. Stupid, but I love it. And then the storm's over, I guess. Do hurricanes come in waves? I'm a Brit, I honestly wouldn't know. Finn's bar is destroyed and now he's on a quest to save his inland family. And everyone else joins because they ain't got anything else to do.
Gonna be honest, the music feels a little out of place, considering the context.
So now, suddenly, the roads are proper flooded and sharks are just swimming around. Man, this is some awful acting from George, or maybe just bad directing and editing. So on their trip inland, they come to an alleyway thing where everybody's parked and out of their cars for some reason. And you'll never guess what happens to them. And then also, Finn goes out of his way to save them because he's a hero.
There's sharks out there. You don't have to go out there.
You're absolutely right, George. Whoa, why are you going out now? No, George. Oh, come on. And I just realized who you were. It's the dad from Home Alone. Isn't that poetic? Well, at least he saved a dog. So now we reach Finn's family and 3 characters to fill the void of George. The ex-wife, the daughter, and the boyfriend. And none of them believed the shark element, even though the wife literally saw one get shotgunned at the door. So pretty cliche characters here. Time to kill the rude boyfriend, eh? And this action sequence is awful. Characters do nonsensical things. The pretty girls just scream from the stairs. The boyfriend just vanishes. Every camera shot tries to avoid looking at the shark. They drag it out, and eventually, our waitress Nova shoots it in the head with 6 shotgun shells. It survives. Finn comes up with a big brain plan.
I'm gonna push the shark out of here.
Distracts it, lives, and on the outside, there's no flooding at all. Logic. And then the whole house self-destructs. Not the neighbors. Just that one. Oh boy. You know, the news really dropped the ball on this one with warnings and evacuations. You'd think they'd tell businesses when to shut down, but this movie's not gonna think that deep. They made 6 of these movies. That's a lot of shutting your brain off. Also, why are we watching the news on like a Luigi's Mansion app?
Not gonna lie, it's kinda hot when you do that.
Ah yes, blatant unneeded safety hazards are so attractive these days. And you know what would be attractive to me? If the 85% of you who aren't subscribed go press that button. Or be part of my community within the community. I recognize every username who joins me live on Twitch, and it's more content for you. Twitch.tv/DazzReviews.
Also, I didn't get to say this last week because of the way we did the substats, but thank you guys so much for 300,000 subscribers. That is the number that I associate as being a real YouTuber. That is the number that the guy I looked up to when I first came to YouTube had. They had 300,000, so to me, that's the top of the mountain. So thank you guys so much for allowing my dreams from like 13, 14 years old to come true, really. And sorry I had to tell you in the middle of this kind of cyclone weather. I hope you enjoy the content and the way I present it.
Alright, that's my plug done. So at this point, they're trying to get to the final family member, Matt the son. But first, Finn's gotta do his hero thing and he spots a school bus. There's no indication that anyone's inside, but you're damn right he's gonna go and try and save the potential kids anyway. And we've gotta pad out this movie somehow. So they go to an above bridge and Surfer Barman now has a rappel kid in his car, I guess. Good news, there are kids in there. It would be great if there wasn't. That'd be a great parody sketch. And after 4 minutes of back and forthing up a rope, wow, that's a big kid. Totally not a stunt person. There's the goofy teacher also doing his comic relief thing. They pad out fake shark attacks. You can clearly see in the background sometimes that there's no flood on any other road. And as Finn is finishing up, a shark leaps super high up onto the rope as well. Oh, these sharks are just sentient characters at this point. Also, the kids are watching it all until some shots where they're not. And then it's over. Time for the tornado part of this movie. Swinging around the literal letters of the Hollywood sign. I'm gonna take this as a metaphor for the state of Hollywood right now.
My mom always told me Hollywood would kill me.
I love that you could tell that this was going to happen because the signature camera shake was there for the VFX shot. Not only are there tornadoes, now they're sucking sharks. And there's 3 of them. Also, apparently every helipad in the area has exactly 1 shark landing on it. Funny that. And as our group are driving along, somehow a shark lands on them quietly and bites through the roof. Man, Back to the Future 2 really did have accurate predictions. This shark looks almost as bad as that one.
I can't tell who it is, but someone's really not in the moment right now.
And the shotgun saves the day again. They smell gas now, run from the car, and just like that, it explodes. If you wanted the characters to not be in a car, you could have just asked, writers. Sheesh. Time for shopping. It's actually the opportunity for characters to actually interact, but it's not much. The daughter tells Nova not to pursue her dad if she doesn't want to be heartbroken, and the boys watch an emergency alert that goes nowhere. What great service. But they have a plan. What an awful plan. Oh, disappointing. Anyway, their plan somehow works and no one else has done this before, and now they've got a massive, sometimes CG giant truck. Also, have you noticed in all of these driving scenes, there's just no background, it's all just grey? This is actually a common trait with Asylum movies, usually to a much worse effect, but I guess all the water here kind of obscures it. Is this a positive point for efficient filming now, or is this still a negative? So now with police blockades in the way, they blaze past at unreal speeds, and you're led to believe they're being chased, but it's clearly some like B-roll footage of police bikers going 20 miles an hour. And soon enough, they outrun them with a nitrous button, I guess. Enough of that drama. The police disappear. Oh wow, that super tornado looks ridiculous. It's just a collage of 2D wind layers essentially. So they've made it to Matt, or where he's supposed to be, flight school. They build up way too much suspense on how Matt is missing, and Nova gets out a shotgun for a noise that's clearly not a shark. They find people in hiding who I guess didn't hear people calling out for Matt earlier, and boy, it sure is lucky that Matt is here. Does no one else in this universe move when they hear a hurricane is coming? Once again, these characters are clueless of the sharks, even after all this time. There's a whole ensemble of people that you won't really get to see much depth from, but here's at least one less to care about. Don't you just love those strangely keyframed death scenes? Woo! Everyone else huddles in that safety corner as they hold the door against a hurricane with the strength to lift cars, but apparently not them. And then it clears up. Big fan of this shot with no shadows. And though they have a functioning helicopter, they choose to stand and fight instead. Time to prep in this hardware shed. The parents grab chainsaws, Matt and Nova have a heart-to-heart about Nova's scar, even though they literally met 5 minutes ago and she's never told anyone else. The daughter uses this time to attack her dad.
You're my problem.
What?
Look, what are you and Mom doing?
Saving your life for a moment?
I came for you first.
Actually, that's not true either. You assumed Matt was with them. Still, this is a very annoying moment. Just chuck her ungrateful self to the sharks at this point. Boat friend is making a bomb, all because of the plan to...
We're gonna get in that chopper and throw bombs into the tornadoes, blasting those bastards to bits.
Are you kidding me? Hold on. Oh. Meanwhile, I guess the other two were just twiddling their thumbs, because they do nothing. Great characters. So with 3 characters apparently knowing how to build a bomb, they prep for the plan. Boat friend, who I only now realize was named Baz, what a missed opportunity from me, says he's plan B, choosing to drive into the tornado with his bigger bomb and sacrifice himself. And Finn says, alright then. Again, there's just no background for the vehicle scenes. Also, they're flying to a wind-based system with a wind-based vehicle, with sharks flailing in the sky. So Finn shoots some one-handed with his pistol from the ground. What a superhuman he is. Don't know how it changes their trajectory though. And they drop the first bomb. That's actually a massive explosion to scale. Realistically, it would never be enough, but alright. It somehow equalizes the tornado. A shark comes falling down and Finn starts a chainsaw to protect himself in one swing. This is the most unrealistic part of the movie. Chainsaws take like 5 goes. Another shark bites Baz on the leg again. Finn keeps one-shotting sharks in the air. Baz in one shot is fine and then suddenly being pulled by wind alone. How does Asylum always get their build-up so horrendously wrong? And I guess he's dead too. What an unceremonious death. Also, more padding, there's a retirement home now. None of the staff moved them earlier despite an EF4 hurricane in the area. They watch a journalist die on TV, they drop bomb 2 successfully, a shark electrocutes itself, our last background character dies with the worst fate. And now the sharks have reached the retirement home pool. Yes, we're gonna pause the moment to save these guys too. Ugh, Finn. Very impressive that this lady falls in when the sharks arrive. Finn fills the pool with gasoline that was just hanging about. Also a bad idea from a physics perspective, but here it blows up the entire pool. Gotta love that camera shake. I gotta admit, I've been thoroughly entertained up to this point. When was the last time we saw an original idea? I mean, they ruin it later. And the writing now is still terrible on every front. I mean, look at this. Stupid moments, flat characters, lack of logic, but this is fun. And for the final tornado, they fail. A shark grips the helicopter, of course, and Nova is swallowed mid-air. Not what I was expecting. So, surprise, surprise, it's time for plan B. A shark dents the ground somehow, Finn gets into the CG truck, preps the super bomb, and hey, actually uses a callback with that nitrous button, and explodes it without sacrificing himself. Turns out Baz was just an idiot all along. Ha! Ironically, that explosion looks smaller than the others. This whole film only had a budget of $2 million, which honestly sounds like a lot. You'd think there'd be better VFX, but there were a lot of VFX shots, so I don't know. So with one final shark shower and some final bad acting from our main guy.
Get out of there! Get out of the way!
His daughter's about to die, and you could really tell. Finn chainsaws one last super shark, diving into it and all. He literally jumped the shark for that one. So as everyone mourns the clearly not dead Finn, the shark is apparently dead on impact, and miraculously not sliced up herself is Nova on the inside. Of course. Also, shouldn't the impact onto the ground have killed her too? Whatever. And I guess Nova took that daughter talk to heart, and she's no longer a love interest to Finn, but to his son instead. IRL, there's a 7-year age gap instead of a 26-year age gap, so I guess maybe that does make sense. Still kind of weird in context.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of hot when you do that.
Finn and his ex-wife get back together because that was well established, and they view their apocalyptic city. What a day. Oh, what a to-the-point credit song. Wow. Still though, it's funny how split reviews were at the time. Critics liked it and audiences didn't? Right. Well, it's certainly got a cult following now, and there's 6 movies to enjoy in the future. Asylum truly are the gift that keeps on giving, and this is probably their magnum opus. It returned $100 million, so 50 times its budget, and the whole franchise is more than $4 billion. So I guess the lesson to learn here is, sometimes you don't even really have to try. Being bold is all you need. Speaking of which, you haven't really done anything, have you? How long are you going to be here?
Today I was just observing, but beware. From now on I shall be a plague on your reality. You better get used to seeing me, 'cause I'm here to stay.
Okay then. My name's been Dazz. You didn't really care. Next time we're covering a cancelled movie that's been referenced in finished films, and I'll see you in a bit.